It's Roseann White, and I'm here today at a different day and time. It's Tuesday at 11 o'clock here in Arizona, and we had some thoughts to maybe change things up a little bit. Normally, I'm here with you guys on social media, on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, doing some exercising and workouts and or launching new products. But today we thought we'd do a little different venue of talking about how to stay fit and fabulous through the holidays. So I'm going to be actually taking any questions that you might have and just sharing some ideas with you about things that I actually do and I coach my clients to do. Um, you can see I'm in my virtual training room, and I have lots of the Life Pro products here, and they all fit really well. Actually, it's like my own home gym in a small room, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have been accumulating some great products. So let me know where you're tuning in from, what stuff you've been using, and talking about how you are staying fit and feeling fabulous throughout the holidays. I want to give a special thank you to all the people that supported me in the Fit and Fab competition. I did not make the cut. There's a few more rounds, but I was up to the wild card, and someone else got it. But thanks so much for your support. Even though I'm not going to be able to win the money and the spa vacation and all that, I still want to continue to give you as much information and free programming to help you to feel fit and fabulous. So, how do we do that? How do I do that? It's really a daily practice, and as I've said in many of my messages, whether it's email or social media or to you guys, it's never too late to start a fitness routine, and you start where you're at. Now, the holidays are a great time to have all the excuses on why you can't stay fit. We're busy, we've got parties, we've got family coming in, and we're traveling, and like it's just impossible. However, the cool part is there's a lot of Life Pro equipment we can take with us, or there's some stuff that we can't take, but we have the YouTube state channel where you can go on, and we've got, oh gosh, I don't know how many, over 100 probably videos now between Amber, Debbie, and I that talk about products that you can take with. I know Debbie just did a live yesterday on red light therapy and skin. But it's an inside job. It starts on the inside, and we work our way out. And we use all these products to help us from the outside in, right? So what I want to recommend today are going to be two products to work with when you're home, in between the partying, the planning, the shopping, the Christmas stuff, the whatever holiday type of holiday you celebrate this time of year, is to take time out for you because it matters. I used to think that if I don't spend an hour at the gym or an hour doing something, like I thought my thinking was I have to have an hour time out. And that's not really the case. As a matter of fact, next week I'm going to be showing you some other time out things that are super simple. But today I'm going to talk about walking on the treadmill. And lifting some weights. Right now, I'm sitting on a stool, and I have the new Aero Step here. I love this thing because I can just work on sitting here and working on my ankle mobility. And I find, trust me when I tell you this, I find that a lot of my clients who are older, active, aging adults like you and me, lose a lot of ankle mobility. And what happens, and I see it, is, and I hear it, is the dragging of feet, not picking up feet. I hear a lot of my clients falling, tripping, not being able to catch themselves. Balance is a huge problem. But it starts at our feet, and I love the vibration platforms. You can see I've got my Rumblex behind me. I love that because we can sit down on a stool and put our feet on the platform and just get the energy into our feet. But what's beautiful about the 4-in-1 step from Life Pro is that we can start really training our ankles to point and flex and get that mobility so that when we step on our Swift treadmill, we can actually heel strike and get that point and flex, that plantar flexion and dorsiflexion. So I want to recommend that you work on some ankle mobility. Now, If you don't have this step yet, no worries. Maybe that's going to be on your Christmas list of things that you want to get for yourself, or you want someone else to get for you. I can't say it's a great stocking stuffer because it's big, but it's a great for under the tree. But what I want to suggest is when you wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed, while you're laying in bed, now I'm going to do it sitting up, but while you're laying in bed, that you'll grab behind one thigh and you're just going to let your foot dangle. Okay, you're going to lay flat. If I was on the ground, and I'm not today, but the other leg would be straight, and you're going to take 30 circles of your ankle in one direction, and I won't do all 30 because of time elements, and 30 in the other direction. And you want to try to get as big of a circle as you can, and you might hear some snapping and crackling and popping. As long as there's no pain, we're just releasing some of the gases in between the joints. So you want 30 in both directions, and that's going to reset your feet to start your day, okay? And the same thing at the end of the day. Do the same thing, 30 on each side. Now, I have timed it, and it literally takes a minute per leg. So when you wake up in the morning, before you're getting out of bed or you're winding down for the night, and just reset your feet because they serve us well. Even if you're not super, super active standing on your feet, or just the opposite, if you're always on your feet, you want to put some kindness into your feet. Okay. And then from here, we're just going to go ahead and start walking on the treadmill. Now, as I mentioned, I used to think it was an hour of time that I had to take to get the workout going. But the studies are showing us now that, we need to do some aerobic activity, and they're recommending 150 minutes a week. Well, how do you break that up? Just like how you eat an elephant one bite at a time. So if you can get on your treadmill for at least 5 minutes, okay, 5 minutes minimum, just to get things moving. But I want to recommend, especially if you are a person that's dealing with diabetes, high blood sugar, that you want to actually have about 20 minutes. Now it's like 20 minutes, holy crap. Well, here's the deal. I'm going to start my treadmill out. And I don't know if I'll do the whole 20 minutes because I'm going to add some things to it. But, I'm going to start at a slow speed. Oh, thanks. I'm looking fabulous. Thanks. I don't know who that is, Facebook user, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's been a crazy month so far. I got married last Friday, and man, it was a great time in Sedona. We did some hiking in the Red Rocks. It was beautiful. But now I'm back on track, right? I ate lots of cake, lots of cupcakes celebrating, but again, back to the routine. So we're going to just start walking, and I'm at a speed of 2.0. And if this is too fast for you, and it might be, fear not. You can go as slow as you want. But the main thing is we're talking about your heel strike. And that's the most important thing. I want you to think about a heel and toe strike. And while you're doing that, you're staying up really tall. And there's two bones right at your collarbones. Put one hand on your heart and just lift up those bones. And that way your head is going to go right back over your shoulders, over your hips. So you've got this great alignment. And then the most important part about staying fit is breathing. And you're going to hear me talk about that a lot in all of our upcoming sessions because during the holidays, if you're like me, and definitely over this last week when I was getting married, the stress was high. And when the stress is high, we make not so good choices. But I want you to choose to breathe, to just think about taking a nice big breath in, hold it for a moment, feel that all the energy in your air, and then exhale all your out. And hopefully you heard my breath, the H-ah sound. That sound helps you to actually stimulate the relaxation response. So yeah, here I am walking on the treadmill. I'm starting to get the muscles to warm up and activate. But I don't want to be in a stressful place because that doesn't serve me well for my cortisol levels. So when I take a nice big breath in and exhale it out, I'm putting a lot more fresh oxygen into the blood, the body, and the muscles. and I'm letting go of any wasted air, any wasted matter in my lungs. And I'm also letting go of stress. Your brain and your heart love to hear the the sighing sound. And if you've taken any of my yoga classes online, or if you've got a chance to train with me personally, I stress the H-ah breath. Now I've been on here for about almost 3 minutes, and I feel like my ankles, my knees, and my hips feel pretty warmed up. So I'm just going to add a little more speed. Now today I'm not going to go over 3.0. There is no need for me to do that because a 3.0 pace, I'm actually at 2.6, feels pretty good. Now, the Swift treadmill, if you're not familiar with it, it's portable. So I can literally take this device, pull it, fold it up, and slide it in the corner. Not that I put any of my clothing on there. It's not a clothes hanger, but I just can put it away so I can have my floor space to work out. I love the portability. I've always wanted a treadmill. I've always wanted one, but I never had the space for it because it does take up some space when I'm not using it. So I love the Swift treadmill for that. And I think there's some good specials going on now. Check it out on Amazon and the Lifepro site because I think in each place there might be some specials going. Don't quote me on that right now, but I think there might be. So even just by talking to you and walking, I can feel my heart rate coming up a little bit. Now, I had mentioned something. I'm kind of chit-chatting away. If you guys have any questions, please ask them of me, and I'll be happy to answer. So in the meantime, I'll just chat away about blood sugar and stabilization. So one thing I find out with myself and a lot of my clients during the holidays, because it is the season of merriment that we tend to consume a little more sugar than normal, right? And what happens? We eat sugar, we crave more sugar. And then we eat that sugar, and then we crave more. It's a vicious cycle. And how do we stop? Well, first thing you do is you do the push away exercise. You push the stuff away. But it's not always that easy when you're in holidays. So before a party, before an event, make sure that you actually are stabilizing your blood sugar. And how do you do that? It's pretty simple. Eat some protein, some healthy fats, a little bit, and then some fiber, some kind of greens. So if you stabilize your blood sugar before you go to an event, before a party, you won't be spiking when you hit the sugar, the dessert tray. So you want to keep a nice stable blood sugar level. And especially when we're under stress, our brain really craves those carbs. It just makes us feel good. And then what happens the next morning? I don't know about you, but I get that like sugar hangover. You just kind of feel really, really a little bit crappy, a little hungover from all the food. So blood sugar stabilization is super important. And I see someone saying, thanks about the reminder. Yeah, 15 minutes on the treadmill is awesome to do. And I want, like I said, I want to recommend that you're working up to 20 minutes. Okay, that would be ideal. So how do you do that? You warm up. I'm already at 6 minutes. You warm up for about 5 minutes. And then you can do some interval training, or what we also know as high intensity training. And don't let that word intensity fool you. When we do high intensity training, basically we want to do for 30 seconds. That's all, 30 seconds. You want to get out of your comfort zone. So that's going to be your intensity. You push the intensity. And for maybe 2 minutes or so, at least 90 seconds. Take it low. So I'm going to go nice and slow. I'm going to go back to a speed of 1.5. Nice and slow. And I'm just going to let it go nice and slow. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to come off the treadmill for a moment. And I'm going to I'm just going to take one of my PowerFlow dumbbells. How do you like this stand? Yeah. Is not this stand the greatest thing? I'm so glad that Lifepro came out with that because I can easily rest my weights there and store things underneath it too. So while I'm walking, I'm going to add a little bit of strength training because strength training helps to burn more calories, right? Boost metabolism. And what's really cool when you do one arm at a time, it actually will make your core muscles work because you're balancing a different weight on one side of your body so the other side has to stabilize. Now, if you're not comfortable with letting go, hold on, that's fine. It's a light grip. Just rest your hand there. Your brain will know that you're safe. And then you can do a little bicep to shoulder press. And here's the cool thing about this. Not only am I getting my deltoid and my bicep, but now I'm going to work my tricep when I straighten my arm. So 3 muscles I'm working besides my heart to do this. Well, actually more. I just told you I was working my core. So this is a very simple exercise that you can incorporate the PowerFlow dumbbells and your treadmill during your lower part of the high intensity training. And let's go to the other side. So I'm just going to go and continue on. I'm going to do about 10 reps. And here's my breath. Exhale. And inhale. I've got my collarbones lifted so the posture alignment is as good as I can get it. I'm heel toe striking. I'm thinking about my feet. So I've got a lot of muscles working at the same time. Yeah, so 2.5 is still challenging, and if that's your challenge point, you just work in that for 30 seconds and then go back to 1.5. I think that's a great rule of thumb for you. Don't go past that too high of intensity for now. I want you to feel really comfortable with that. And even if it's for 30 seconds that maybe you hit that 2.6, just for 30 seconds, and then back it off. So that was about over 2 minutes. I'm going to step it off. And now, instead of going back onto my treadmill, you can go ahead and straddle, hold on, and you're going to sit back and lift. So I'm holding on, and I'm just taking a nice big squat using the glutes. And we can make this a little more intense by doing pulses. And now my quads and my glutes are doing the work. So it doesn't mean, so Facebook user that's having a challenge with a 2.5, try off the treadmill and make those quads and your leg muscles work a different way, right? Because this is really going to get your heart rate up. And I'm going to go for about 10 more pulses. And I can feel my heart rate going up. It's amazing how this works. 3, 2, and 1, and stretch up, and then come back on. So I'm going to let the heart rate come down, and I'm at still my low speed. Now, I want to give you a suggestion, and make sure it's within low speed. I'm at 1.3. I'm going to sidestep. So I'm taking one leg over the other. It's my left leg over my right. So I'm working a little bit of my outer hips and my inner thighs, okay? Think about that. It's just a slight angle, but we do everything walking front and back, right? So now I've got a little bit of a hip action going. But hold on, you don't have to do this without any hands, but just feel that. Then come back to center, and then turn your body, turn your hips. My toes are pointing now to about 2 o'clock. And I just cross one thigh over the other, and we don't have to do this fast. And let that belt drag away, and then cross over and drag it away. So my outer hip is really doing a lot more work. Just by bringing my leg across the body, that's my inner thigh. So isn't that cool that you can just work on your hips at the same time? So I'm going to go back and increase my speed just for a bit. There it is. Now you also know that I don't have it connected, but you can plug in we've got Bluetooth here, you can plug in your electronic devices, so if you want some music along the way. I don't play any music during the lives just because of I don't want to make that distract from what I'm saying to you guys, but definitely music is a great thing to have during your workouts. So I'm going to increase it now. I'm at 2.5 again. So what's another way you can actually go increase your intensity without running, okay? Nice little steps. So I'm going to heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. So I have it, I'm not running, but I'm really I'm kind of making a powerful walk. I'm little tiny steps. If you have back problems, long strides will not help your back. You want to keep it very narrow. So that's another tip for anyone who's dealing with back problems. Just quick little steps, heel toe, heel toe. And I'm working a lot more on my glutes and my calves. And guess what? My heart rate's coming up again. Whew. Okay, I'm going to do that for about 5 more seconds. And then I'm going to slow it down. So in the recovery stage, that 1.5, you go nice and slow. And this is a good time to add some weight again. So I'm going to grab my weight, and I have the PowerFlows. It's 5 pounds to 25 pounds. So my 10-pound weight is going to be a little heavy duty. And I'm just going to straddle one more time. And instead of increasing heart rate, I'm just going to work my shoulders. I got a nice wide stance. I'm going to lift and lower. My elbows are forward, and I'm coming down. And here's where my breath plays into it. Take a big breath in, pull the belly in, and exhale. And inhale. So when I'm making a nice slow move, I'm not really increasing the heart rate as much as I would is in a powerful move. How do I make this more powerful? Squat up, squat up. So I just increase my speed, and there's my intensity. So you see how simple it is to get this interval in? It doesn't take much to do. And then I'm going to come back on just for a little bit longer. I'm going to go for another 45 seconds, and I'm going to get off the treadmill and then just chat with you guys for a little bit. So back to staying fit and fabulous through the holidays. It's all about moving. We want to move our body. We want to continue to get all the blood pumping through our heart. Our heart's our most important muscle. And if we don't work that muscle, then everything else kind of fails from there. It's also important too, guys, that stretching is key. So grab one of your vibration platforms. Check out some of those YouTube videos. I got some things from almost 2 years ago. Some really nice basic yoga-like stretches. And don't be afraid of that word yoga, okay? Doing yoga means you're breathing and you are moving your body. It's the union of breath and body. And there's 15 minutes right there. So you can see how quickly that went. I'm going to hit the stop. Now, just because you stopped on your treadmill, make sure that you do stretch out. And what's some simple stretches? I'm just going to bring my foot onto the edge here, and I'm just going to take a bow. Okay, I'm just getting that hamstring stretch out. And then I'll go ahead and I'll bend my knee. My foot's flat, and I'm getting my hip to stretch. And then I'm going to hinge back, and then bend and stretch. And then let's take a big stretch and get all that whole side of my body to release. And then switch to the other side. So I'm standing perpendicular. I'm going to drop my heel down, toe up, and then right from the hip crease, I don't know if you can see me, but right from my hip crease, I'm going to hinge forward. And it's this hamstring that's getting the work. You don't have to go far down to get this right. I don't want you to drop. There's no bonus in touching your toes here. I want you to feel the length in the leg. And then you'll just bend in, and this back foot, I'm going to step back a little bit and get the stretch in the hip flexor. And do that a couple times. Make it an active stretch. And then one more time. And then when we hold this, we're going to take a big stretch up. And then, of course, it's very important that you do want to round your back a little bit. So hold on to your unit, drop your head, shake it left and right, and then round your spine. And then maybe lean into it and push your hips forward and look up and get your back to extend up. And then you can come over and flex, push your butt back, and then lean forward, take a big breath in, and then take it back. So that's a super simple way that you can get in. I want to encourage you all, start where you're at. As I mentioned, 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes, but you're going to find out after 5 minutes of just walking slowly, just taking your time. I'm going to work my ankles while we're talking. Then you increase the pace a little bit. You increase your cadence. Maybe you step to the left, step to the right. And then you come back to your cadence. It goes by quickly. It's just taking this time. Schedule the appointment for you. Like when you have a doctor's appointment, you don't want to miss that. Or you have to pick up your grandkid from school, you don't want to miss that appointment. Well, you matter just as much. And when you take time out for you to take care of you, you feel better. And then you can help others even more. So I think that's super, super important to remember that even though this is our time of giving, this is a season of giving, give the gift of health to yourself. Treadmill walking is probably the best way that you can do that. That's not impactful on joints. There is some impact, okay? There's some impact, but you're not running, you're walking, you're breathing, you're getting fluid movement. And then, of course, the weight training. There's so many different PowerFlow dumbbells, but the basic one the one that I really like the most, I have a couple sets, is just the PowerFlow, the 5 to 25, because it kind of is nice for the whole family. And then when I'm just mention about sugar again. Sugar is one of my biggest addictions. I've struggled with a lot of different addictions in my life, but sugar was one that was hard to beat. And it doesn't happen overnight. When someone says they're going to sugar, it's like, good luck, because I've done it, and it's like kind of going through withdrawal from serious drugs. It's really devastating. So it's not that you don't want to give up sugar. You just want to make different choices. And there's so many different kind of sweeteners out there on the market that we don't know about. We don't really realize are really healthy sweeteners. So if you're baking this holiday season, consider coconut sugar. It's available at most grocery stores now. Coconut sugar. Okay, it's very low glycemic compared to white sugar or brown sugar. It's considered actually it's from the coconut sap of the tree. So it's a healthier, your body will metabolize it better than regular white bleach sugar. Another thing that you may want to consider cooking with or baking with is local honey from your area. Yeah, it's sweet, it's calories, but it's a more natural source of sweetener. And then, of course, one of my favorite things that I use for a lot of my sweet treats, I use dates a lot. Dates have some great minerals in them, besides some vitamins, but a lot of good minerals, potassium, magnesium, really good minerals and fiber in the date itself. And if you're mixing it with other things, people go, I don't like dates. Well, you start mixing it in with nuts and things like that. You don't notice the date taste. It's just a sweetener. So there's some great sweetener choices. I actually have a book out on Amazon. I wrote it a couple of years ago called The All Natural Sugar Detox. I'll bring it next Tuesday when I do this live, and I'll show you. There's over 100 names for sugar out on the market. So sometimes when we're looking at stuff and we see stevia, be very careful. I love stevia, but make sure it's pure stevia and not combined with a lot of other things that are sugar alcohols and other forms of sugars that are not so healthy for your gut. We get really misled on that. I'm not opposed to having treats. I think we all should have treats. Everything in moderation, including moderation, as they say. That's what my husband always says, moderation, including moderation. So, we can go off the deep end, but, you get right back on the wagon. And my last tip before I sign off is, and you might know this about me already, but I'm a green smoothie girl. And I do drink about a quart of green smoothie every day, which may sound like a lot if you're not new to it. But check out my own YouTube channel, and it's still under Roseann Zaft. I haven't changed it yet. But I have a lot of great recipes for you guys to try. I have a great chocolate, it tastes like a peppermint patty, a chocolate milkshake, but it's a green smoothie. I've got some pina colada one. I've got a strawberry shortcake. I actually have a pumpkin pie smoothie. I think I put that. Yeah, I did put that on there last Thanksgiving. So when you introduce green smoothies into your day, you're going to be able to get extra servings of vegetables because I use a handful. Well, actually, I use 3 to 4 handfuls. But you start with 1 handful of greens, a little bit of fruit. There's your natural sweetener. I add protein powder, and the protein powder I normally use is a pretty clean and relatively inexpensive product called Orgain. I get it here in Arizona. We have Safeway, but you can get it on Amazon. I mean, it's a pretty known brand. It's a very clean protein. It's very mixable, digestible, and it's a vegan protein. So I add protein. I've got my greens. I've got a little bit of fruit, and then I'll add some nuts, generally cashews or walnuts or pecans, into my smoothie. Blend it up. Add some ice cubes, and it's a great way to add another dimension to your nutritional programming. Uh, it's already digestible because it's broken down, so it's easy on the guts. It will help. Don't worry, it's not going to clean out, but it's going to help move things in your guts and help to eliminate some toxins. Next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about toxic overload and oxidative stress. And I don't know if you know what those terms mean, but stay tuned next week. Join me next Tuesday at this time. I've got a few more products from Lifepro that I want to talk about that you can use during the holidays to de-stress yourself. And we're going to talk about oxidative stress because it really is pretty critical in what it does to our bodies. And we don't even realize it's happening to us until it's too late, until we actually have disease. So thank you for the congratulations on my marriage. Hopefully these tips were helpful for you. As always, guys, if you have any questions, any health and wellness related questions between Amber, Debbie, and I, we're happy to help you out. You know, my background really is fitness, wellness, nutrition. I've struggled with addiction for my early adult life up until I was 44. So I understand about addictions and breaking addictions. I've been in fitness professionally for 25 years, but even before that, I was in fitness. So and I'm old, so I've got issues in my tissues just like you guys. So I get it when things are not working optimally. So if I can help you out in any way so that you can stay fit and fabulous for the holidays, that would be my honor and privilege. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Man, 'tis the season. Time to prepare for a lot of stuff going on. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you're having fun with family and friends. One of my clients invited us, my husband and I, to join them for Thanksgiving, so I'm super excited about that. I'm going to try to bring a healthy dessert, but I know there's going to be lots of other yummy things. So get on your treadmill for 15 minutes, 20 minutes before Thanksgiving events happen so you can do something good for yourself before you start taking care of others. Again, it's Roseann White here from Live Fit with my Lifepro gym behind me, and it's just always an honor and pleasure to be of service to you. Have a great day, guys.